the high God, whatever name they give it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matter is what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught about the creator of heavens and the earth. Having the name Allah, as I said, as you've seen from my video, as Sam Shamoon agrees, it can be applied to anyone. And even Sam makes a funny joke about someone claiming that surely this person thinks he's Allah. I agree with you, Sam. I agree with you 100%. The point is, we're going now to theology, right? And my argument was not theological, it was about Arabic. But now we're getting into it. Because you've claimed that Allah is Hubal. Hubal is Allah. The pagans worshipped Allah. Muhammad claimed that it's the same Allah. No, he did not claim that it's the same Allah. He did not. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُ. Do not worship what I worship. وَلَأَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَأَنَّا عَابِدُونَ مَا عَبَدتُمْ. Don't worship what I worship. I don't worship what you worship. This is Surah Al-Kafirun from the Quran. Easily refuting your argument. Prophet Muhammad could have said, I worship what you guys are worshiping, but you just got to remove those idols, man. You got to remove those idols. You just got to push those idols away. No, clearly stating, no way, guys. Hubal and Allah are not the same. The people might have worshipped Hubal, might have thought many things about Allah, such as having daughters and sons, this is the theology that they had. Well, Islam's theology, the pure theology of the creator of the heavens and the earth, that you can find in the Quran and the Sunnah. It is the pure, the one, the creator, the one and only, indivisible, the one and only who does not beget nor is begotten. He's always and always, always watching. No slumber overtakes him. Please read the Quran. Now, watch what Keith is trying to do now, because this is quite interesting. It's a nice attempt here, a very nice attempt. After he quotes all those verses, let's see what he has to say, because he's trying to lay down. Look at that. He's trying to put blocks in my arguments and try to lay down his own rules. Let's see.
Hubal was a pagan deity. This means that Allah was nothing more than a concoction of Satan in order to mislead people away from the true God of the Holy Bible. Therefore, the Allah of Islam is Satan, since Muhammad claimed it was the same Allah as the pagans.
He did never claim. I ask you, I challenge you to prove to me that he claimed that it's the same God. We worship exactly the same. No. We worship the God you're supposed to worship. You need to clean up your act, clean up your theology. The whole Quran is a big cleaning kit for those people. Okay, to clean what they thought about Allah, to clean up their act of what they thought about, what they address, the idols that they associated to Allah, the theology that the Asma wa Sifat that they attributed to Allah, saying this and saying that about Him. Now, and also for the Jews and the Christians. Also for the Jews and the Christians. Now let's keep going.
That is the argument. Now, I am aware of the fact that there are other Quranic verses and hadiths that contradict these verses and say that the pagans did not believe Allah was the supreme deity.
Look at that. He is aware of the verse that he quote, that there's, partners, and, that's not, but still Allah, is Hubal. And that the issue is just the partners. He says, I'm aware that there's other verses that contradict that. Is it maybe Keith and Sam that you guys misunderstood and you guys have no clue of what you're talking about? Because why would you have to assert such a statement? I'm aware. And look what he says.
However, this does not undermine the truth of my argument.
It totally destroys the truth of your argument. And I'm challenging you right now. Don't give me 100 arguments. Give me 1 point where the Prophet Muhammad, don't take things out of context. That's probably how you're thinking that, there's a contradiction. Oh yeah, there's, the Islam Allah and the Quraysh Allah is exactly the same, therefore it's Hubal, Allah is Hubal. I challenge you right now to bring me anything that states that the Prophet ﷺ such a statement. I'm aware. And look what he says.
However, this does not undermine the truth of my argument.
It totally destroys the truth of your argument. And I'm challenging you right now. Don't give me 100 arguments. Give me 1 point where the Prophet Muhammad, don't take things out of context. That's probably how you're thinking that, well, yeah, there's a contradiction. Oh, yeah, there's, the Islam Allah and the Quraysh Allah is the same, exactly the same, therefore it's Hubal, Allah is Hubal. I challenge you right now to bring me anything that states that the Prophet ﷺ said, hey, your Allah, our Allah, same thing, no problem, same thing, same thing. I challenge you. I challenge you. And don't come up with these excuses here now, trying to say, well, I'm aware that there's verses. Oh, yeah, I'm aware, but this only shows what?
It just proves that the Quran is contradictory and inconsistent.
Ooh, now that proves the Quran is contradicting. Because that's kind of like saying, like, what Keith Truth is trying to use here. Like, for example, when, let's apply the same argument to what Keith Truth says. For example, the Old Testament says there's only one God, and then all the other verses that can be interpreted about the spirit and this and that. So are they like contradicting themselves, or they can be somehow put together that no, it's not actually a contradiction, but it's just they come together. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you really, 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 really being honest and being honest to yourself, or are you kidding yourself? And please excuse me now being a bit strong in my arguments. And Keith, I'm not really just, this at you, but, the fact that you've posted that video, and the fact that you guys are trying to lay down blocks in front of what arguments I can use, and trying to, before I can, trying to anticipate what I will use, which is very interesting. This is something that doesn't. So I challenge you again to come and bring me anything to state where the Prophet said, hey, Quraysh, we got the same Allah. You know what I'm saying? You guys just have to get rid of those extra idols, and we're all cool. And don't give me this, contradiction thing, and the Quran is contradictory and inconsistent. That doesn't go, man. You know that. This has nothing to do with it whatsoever. I proved, I challenge you again to show me the Quran in this issue. I challenge you again, challenge number 2, to prove in your next videos that this issue of the Allah, of who Allah is, that it contradicts, that there's verses contradicting about the nature of Allah, and so on and so forth. It's very simple. On one aspect, some verses are addressing the issue that there are idols, and those need to be removed, and that is one part of what Islam came to clean. And another issue, there is, and other verses are addressing a whole different theological issues. So for example, some verses are addressing the issue of Jesus and Mary and other things, and some are addressing the issues of idols, some are addressing the issues of the asma wa sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some are addressing other issues. Are the ones contradicting? Just because one is addressing one thing and is not addressing the other is a contradiction? What kind of logic is that? What kind of logic that if you know anything about generality, specificity, and so on in speech, especially in Arabic, about am, khas, mutlaq, muqayyad, and so on and so forth, which obviously you guys have no clue about, and you always apply your English standards language on Arabic and even Hebrew sometimes and other things. Anyhow,
with the passages and evidence that affirm that they are the same. It is important to note in passing that the pagan Allah, or Hubal, had 3 daughter goddesses, Alat, Aluza, and Al-Manat.
Now, I do have a question. I don't know this. I didn't research, but I just want to ask, can Keith bring us somewhere where it says any hadith, any Islamic authentic narration or from the Quran, that it actually says the Quraysh believed that Hubal had 3 daughters? That Hubal had 3 daughters, because that's what he's claiming. Look what he's saying here. Hubal.
Affirm that they are the same. It tries to bring up saying that it's important to note in passing that the pagan Allah, or Hubal, had 3 daughter goddesses, Alat, Aluz.
Because you're interchanging here, Hubal and Allah. So you should find something where it says Allah, Hubal had 3 daughters. No. That's why. There's no such thing as Allah being Hubal. Okay? Not for us, not for the Muslims, whatever but I just want to know this. Is there something that Hubal is referred, that he had 3 daughters? I just want to know. Maybe you know more. This is just not a challenge or anything. Not something I research. I just want you to see if you can find something for me, please. Now we're going to the video. This is number 1 of the series, and as I said, there's probably gonna be. I mean, now if I'm gonna split the video, it's gonna be about I don't know how many minutes. But please do watch, and I know it's a bit hard to follow. But check it out. Now he's going to say something very interesting.
Beliefs, as well as his counterclaims to Shimon's position. Let's begin with some background information as to why we believe that Allah of Islam is Satan and not the true God of the Jews and the Christians.
The true God of the Jews and the Christians. He's making the God of the Jews and the Christians the same. Now later on in his second video, he's trying to make a parallel. Okay, and he's trying to prove from the Old Testament that God has, they're different personalities pretty much, trying to prove the Trinity. He's going back from the scriptures, and of course scriptures are interpreted. That's why the Jews don't accept that. He's trying to bring some proof there. We'll address that proof. However, look what he's saying there. He's saying the true God of the Jews and the Christians. Now, I ask any person of sound mind, do the Jews worship the same God as the Christians? Are the Jews today or at any time, have they accepted a theology of Christianity? Can you say then that the God of the Christians and the Jews is the same God? And then it's different than, basically now, it's us versus them. The Jews and the Christians in one, and we're on one camp and you guys are on the other camp? No, you cannot say that, because the fact is, and it's a fact, everyone knows that. Go to any synagogue, go to any Jew, and you'd be like, hey, do you worship the same God as we do? And then they'll be like, no. Why? Because when you're talking about the Jews and the Christians have the same God, you're talking about what people have made of their theology. And you guys have a certain theology, and Jews have a different theology. True or not? True or not? That's the whole point. We're not talking about, we're not talking about who is the ultimate creator of the heavens and the earth. That's a different. We're talking about what the Jews and the Christians, are they worshiping the same God? No. So don't make that assertion. Don't try to bring the two together. Okay, you're wrong.
First, it can be shown with documentary evidence that the Ishmaelites living from either 1000 to 400 BC didn't worship the true God, but instead hated the true God. So whatever God they worshipped or supposedly passed down to the later pre-Islamic Meccan Arabs was not the true God of the Jews and the Christians. Psalm 83, 1-6 states, quote,
Of course, he's trying to make a nice little link between the Ishmaelites and the Arabs. And I'm telling you right now, so what? So what? So what? You would have to make a link. The link between Ishmaelites and the pagan Arabs has no bearing whatsoever on what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came to teach. No bearing whatsoever. The Ishmaelites had already corrupted, just like the people of Isaac and many other people have been distorting their Prophet Muhammad did not claim. It says the Ishmaelites had the true understanding of Allah. If we claim anything, is that Ishmael, the son of Abraham, had the proper understanding of Allah. Isaac, the son of Abraham, had the proper understanding of Allah. There's a long time between them, and that's why Allah sent many messengers to people to correct their problem. And that's why Allah chose the final and only messenger, the final messenger of God to come and to correct the whole world. Christians, Jews, Ishmaelites, pagans, whoever you want to talk about. So, Keith, very, very poor argument, man. Very poor. You got to do better than that. You got to do much better than that. But let's keep hearing what you got to say.
Be silent, do not hold your peace or be still. O God, for be pre-Islamic pagan Quraysh tribe. This is important because the Muslim assertion is that the pagan Arabs worshipped Allah, the creator God, but merely added false gods on the side. But since we can show that they didn't even worship the true God with documentary evidence, as well as demonstrate that Muhammad admitted that his Allah was the same Allah as the pagan Quraysh tribe.
I have already asked you on that, Keith, and that was one of the challenges that I asked you. Please prove that to us, okay? Because you keep talking about documented evidence, facts, and so on and so forth. And that's what you and Sam keep going about. And we need to see that, man. We need to see. And Prophet Muhammad came in Surah Najm and he said, and we'll talk about the so-called satanic verses. But Surah Najm clearly says these are just, you're inventing these names, you and your forefathers. Is that the same Allah? Are they worshiping the same Allah? No, they're not. He's clearing, okay? He's clearing the attributes of God. He's clearing this garbage that people saying about Allah. Not the same. Because if they would be the same Allah, then they'll say, hey, oh yeah, it's the same. We have the same idea, same intent. Obviously not the same. Obviously not saying that, but we need to see your proof because you're claiming many things. You have no proof yet. But let's go and see what your proof will be.